respectable baseball against respectable division-winning teams. I guess we're eating our words, Hermdo. We said this team had it mailed in. The season was over. Tarik Skubal remains around the corner. He's, I believe, in AA and AAA, serving up some heaters. They're saying he's off limits. He's not tradable. The Browns also said they weren't going to trade Myles Garrett. Look what happened. We're going to get into that, plus more. Are the Lions overhyped? And, of course, we'll talk about the Dylan Larkin trade request. I'm Mark. We're going to bring in Hermdo. This is the Fan Forum. Like and subscribe. Well, subscribe, then like. Either way, subscribe. Sir, how are we tonight?
I had a couple of pops, but I'm doing good. Go Tigers, go Kevin McGonigal. Fucking dude hitting a single at the bottom of the ninth score, and Wenzel Perez taking the series from the Mariners. Tigers, I can't remember the last time Tigers won back-to-back series.
Yep.
It's absolutely insane. Not that the Mariners are in a great shakes, but still, they're a lot better than you. So, I'll take any victory we can get. Yesterday, Carter Montero on the mound. He had, just one of those things. Tigers couldn't get anything going. They got blanked 0-4, one of those things. But the night before, they put up quite the performance. But, today, clutch hits from Torkelson, clutch hits from whoever the fuck else. But, yeah, we took care of business today against the Mariners. Looking good. But, 2 series wins in a row. They won 5 out of 6. They look good doing it. But, a lot of good vibes coming from the Tigers. But, we got Tarik Skubal throwing like 6 scoreless innings. He had like 2 hits, 0 earned runs, like 6 strikeouts in West Michigan for the Whitecaps. He should be back with the team next week. That's what we're expecting from him. That's what I saw today from all the news.
Yep. He's throwing 99.
Yeah, Tarik Skubal, I don't know. He's throwing 99 because Tarik Skubal's a goddamn flamethrower, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I mean, look, I've been down on this team most of the year. I know they're, but old Scott Harris going to the press saying, hey, we're not going to be sellers. So I don't know what that means for Tarik Skubal.
Well, according to that, he's staying. They say he's untouchable.
They're going to keep Tarik. I mean, don't give me – look. I love Tarik Skubal. I mean, I will always thank Al Avila, as shitty as a GM he was. He found him. He found our diamond in the rough, Tarik Skubal. The guy is a beast. The guy is the best left-handed pitcher in the MLB right now. Yep. And, the dude's just magical. And would I love to get him signed to a long-term deal? Yes. Is it going to happen? I'm not counting on it. I'm being realistic. I still think the Tigers are fucking done. I still maintain the Tigers are not going to make the postseason this year. They're still in a pretty deep hole. I know they've looked good recently, and I know the Guardians have kind of fallen flat, but I don't take it to mean much. Tigers still have a lot of baseball. There's, 97 games left in this season.
Yeah.
And look, the Tigers, they're about 10 games back. They got to play near perfect baseball. They got to play a brand of baseball. I ain't seen this team play yet. Wenzel Perez, Zach McKinstry hitting a solid 165. It's
Doesn't
like,
help.
Bro, what the fuck? Yeah, but anything could happen, and we see what this team can do with their backs against the wall, and we see what this team can do when they absolutely have to get wins late in the season. I don't know what kind of version of the Tigers we're getting. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're having a good June so far. They're having a good Pride Month. People are praising the gay Tigers. Do we get behind the gay Tigers? I don't know, but
I think that's all we
like
have.
the brand of baseball they're playing. They're looking good. Yeah, that's all we got right now is the gay Tigers.
That's it.
So the Tigers can put together a solid June, keep their heads above water. You're getting Skubal back soon. You add to that lineup, you got Framber Valdez, Troy Melton. Where did this guy come from? Freaking sub-2 ERA. What the hell, man? Where were you hiding, Troy? Where were you hiding, buddy? And you still got Framber Valdez. Jack Flaherty had a solid outing tonight, 3 earned runs, but that's okay because the Tigers were able to come back in the late innings. get a couple guys on. This closer, Nunez, I believe his name is, for the Mariners, has been blowing a lot of saves lately, so the Tigers took advantage of that. They took care of business at Comerica. You saw the young lady with the Madonna goggles.
That was cute.
It was kind of a fun story. That was very adorable. I loved it very much. That young lady got to see her Tigers pull off an upset victory against the Mariners and secure a series win. That's what the Tigers need to do. I'm feeling good, but still, I'm very down on the Tigers. I mean, not to be a dick, not to be one of those people, but I'm not expecting this team really to do much this season. But you never know. You never know. But you can always sell hope. We can sell hope with the Tigers because you never know.
Well, nothing sells hope more
what
like Justin Verlander returning right now. And I think,
oh God,
do we know the status of his return yet? Isn't it close? Hasn't he been pitching digital baseball for a while?
I think he's been pitching like simulated games or whatever. I know he's in Toledo throwing some games. I don't know when he's going to be back, maybe in a couple more weeks. But
okay, here it is. It says he will make a second rehab start for AAA Toledo Mudhens on June 10th, pushing back his Detroit Tigers return after, whatever. We don't have to get into that. So it looks like it's going to be mid to late June. So I think there's your selling hope story. So Tigers are playing respectable baseball all of a sudden. Again, it's no thanks to anybody other than Kevin McGonigal, Riley Green, the stars that we said are untouchable. I think Justin Verlander comes back, wins back the heart of every single boomer in this state, this great state of Michigan. And I think that buys us a little bit more time. But let's be honest here. If Scott Harris told you that, oh, yeah, we're going to be sellers, and trust me, Skubal's up for sale, you'd wonder why he even has a job, right? More than we already think. So I would say don't buy into that bullshit because it's all going to be, like you said, we have to play near perfect baseball to the end of the stretch. And it's all going to be how it comes down to the trade deadline. If we're playing baseball like we were playing in May by the trade deadline, you're telling me they're going to keep Tarik Skubal? I don't think so. But they bought themselves about a month with Justin Verlander.
Yeah. The JV story, it's a nice story. Look, if JV comes back and somehow by some miracle secures a win, let's say he has a quality start. Let's say he goes like 4 or 5 innings, only lets up like 2 earned runs or something. Let's say he like shows some flashes of the old JV. This town is gonna just jerk off and blah. You know what I'm saying? People are going to go nuts for this fucking guy. People love these kind of stories. We want all the old Tigers back. You know, we want Don Kelly back. We want Brandon Inge back. You know, I swear to God, I mean, we'd have Brandon Inge starting at third base if it was up to these fucking Tiger fans. All that stuff about Nick Castellanos getting released from the Padres, just like, bring him in. It's just like, yeah, we need another black hole in the lineup. But, yeah, all these stories, it's a cute story. Tigers fans love this shit. Tigers fans, I'm worried the Tigers fans don't hold their team to any real standards some days. Not to sound like our radio Italian, but
I was going to say,
I gotta wonder about some of these people sometimes.
You sound like said Italian, and it really makes me think, you know, it's like you could say that about any of these teams, right? So there's a lot of weird, I don't want to say weird, but there's a lot of hype being thrown right now, not to change total gears, but around Javed. I can't believe I almost said Javed Best. Jameer Gibbs, he'll potentially be the offensive player of the year, right? Sports Illustrated says that the Lions are going to have the most wins this season. That, you know, again, that all is predicated based on health. I saw some articles about Kirby Joseph's knee status doesn't look good. But anyways, there's a lot of hype right now against the Lions and on their offense, right? So you think some are saying Derek Moore is going to have a killer year for sacks. It's are we buying too much into this bullshit for the Lions like we always do, or is it real?
I think the Lions have a good season. I pegged them about 11 to 12 wins. I think they'll be decent. I think they'll probably compete for the division. Your Green Bay, they got some injuries starting off the year. Chicago Bears, is all this speculation. What's going on? Are they moving to Indiana? What's happening there?
It sounds Vikings, like they are.
Well, like, who are they? They're starting like Bobby. Like, yeah, I know. I mean, it's kind of crazy. The Indiana Bears. What the hell is all that about? You're going to move to some industrial fly speck town in the middle of nowhere in Indiana because Chicago fucking chased you out with their dog shit property taxes or whatever the fuck that was all about. The fucking Democrats, the Democrats, ruined Chicago, and now they chase the Bears out. That's kind of a shame. Soldier Field, an iconic fucking stadium, is just going to probably be demolished. That's a shame. But it's that kind of sucks for the Chicago Bears fans. That's going to be a huge distraction this season. Caleb Williams, for all his metrosexual talent, I don't know what the Bears are going to come out and look like this year. The Vikings, I mentioned them, but they're starting Joe Nobody at fucking quarterback. I mean, were you going to roll out J.J. McCarthy or whatever the fuck his name is? I don't know, but I don't know. I think the division is in sight for the Lions this season. I think they're going to have a good season. I don't want to buy into too much of the hype. I reserve, look, I mean, this season they need to have a comeback. They got to compete for the division, if not win it totally, because otherwise I think Brad Holmes' seat gets a little bit hot. It's been 5-6 years now, and look, we've achieved a lot of great things with Brad Holmes, but hey, we're no closer to a Super Bowl, baby. And you know what? The 2024 getting your ass beat by Jaden Daniels and the freaking Commanders, the first round of the playoffs after you secured a bye. You know what? No, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. And we're going to expect more from the Lions this year. And this could be the season. People might start to sour on Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. So I'm expecting a lot of things from these guys. I want the division. I expect the division. I think the Lions got a cake schedule this year. I think they can make some moves. I think they could be scary this year if everything works out right. If you got to question the running back tandem of Jameer Gibbs and Isaiah Pacheco. You got to wonder what kind of guy is he going to be? Can Isaiah Pacheco kind of step into that David Montgomery role and be one of those guys that's a good compliment to Jameer Gibbs? How's Blake Miller going to look? How's Penei Sewell going to look when he's on the left side now? How's Derek Moore going to look when he's partnered with Aiden Hutchinson? What kind of sack totals is the guy going to get? Can he break loose and scare some quarterbacks, get some pressures up? There's a lot of questions. I expect decent things. I still trust Brad Holmes somewhat, but still, there's a lot of things up in the air right now. And I say if the Lions don't win the division this year, then it's a disappointing season. Even if they still make the wild card, I'll still expect more. I want a couple playoff wins. I want an NFC championship berth, baby. I want it all. I expect good things from the Lions
you really
this year.
do.
Otherwise, we deserve it all. We deserve it. We as Lions fans deserve it. And if that doesn't happen this year, if the Lions flame out again, then you know what? I'm going to put the onus on Brad Holmes. I'll give you one more season, Bradley. One more season. I know our buddy the Dew has been clocking Brad Holmes. He's been kind of getting on the dude's case. I totally get it. I get it, Dew. I respect you, buddy. And you know what, man? If they fall flat on their faces this season with this schedule in this division, then I'm going to be out. I'm going to be out on Brad Holmes. That's a Hermdo guarantee. I will be out on Brad Holmes if they shit their pants this season.
Well, I hate to make a point that
we'll see what they can do.
That backs up the Dew right now, but I don't know if you saw it or not, but Kendrick Law, he was one of our late round wide receivers out of Kentucky, spent some time in Alabama. He's out for the season, tore his ACL. So not that we were really starving for wide receivers. That's a position I think we're very well versed and deep in right now, providing nobody else gets hurt. But it makes you wonder, right? There's, for every good thing he does, there's some things you can lean your head on. However, though, the way he signs these contracts, right? So we paid JMO, what was it, $80 million over, 3 years? Yep. So he got that lofty raise.
3 years, yeah.
3-year, $80 million. Well, the Packers just inked Christian Watson to a 4-year, $110 million deal with $31 million signing bonus. So suddenly, we're already looking like we got JMO not on the cheap, but at a discount or at a favorable rate. And I talked about that, I think, 2 or 3 episodes ago. So, when teams or when people like to criticize Brad Holmes for some of these contracts he's thrown out, they've all been at the right time where we're not overpaying. We're letting other teams overpay, right? I think that's a hefty wage for Christian Watson, but hey, it's the going rate and cap space is made up, so it is what it is. But right. I think this year is definitely win the North, and I think if you can't do that, then it is a disappointment because the stars are aligned. They're lauding Jameer Gibbs as pretty much prime time in his ultimate He's going to be Offensive Player of the Year. He's going to lead the league in rushing. I mean, they're giving him the you be the face of the NFL as far as our running back's concerned. So it's his opportunity to shine. I think that takes a little bit off Goff. But let's not forget that defense wins championships, Hermdo. And we still have Brian Branch not back until, I don't know, a month in, maybe a month or two in. Kirby Joseph is still a question mark, right? We don't know what Derek Moore is going to look like. We don't know how they're going to stay healthy because in the last few seasons, I feel like the secondary is just, as each week's gone by, falling apart, like peeled the onion back even more. So I'm going to caution myself, and I'm not going to play into the do, but I'm definitely not going to go full Kool-Aid as I usually do.
Yeah, that's a concern. That's a concern. Definitely. If they get off, if the secondary is a big concern for me, and it has been, when you got guys like Terry and Arnold out there, we talked about him a bit, but Kirby Joseph, who knows what's going to happen with him? Brian Branch, it's still up in the air. But, yeah, that secondary depth is going to be a problem. I think that could kind of cost the Lions early in the season. It's important that, you can kind of compensate for that. Hopefully their offense can add something. Hopefully they got things clicking. Hopefully they can still, suppress the pass enough where the secondary doesn't need to be that much of a factor. But that's asking a lot, and especially, from a starting five that's kind of new, and especially, from a guy like Derek Moore. I mean, you're counting him to break up the pass a lot. We don't, this kid has not seen a single snap as far as pro ball is concerned. But there's some question marks here. The Lions might get out to a little bit of a slow start. They might be, they might be struggling a bit until their secondary starts coming back together. So it's really important that, that they can get out to a good start and then get this offense clicking. There's a lot of factors at play here. I think best case scenario, they're still an 11, 12 win team, but there's still a lot of factors at play that make me kind of nervous, considering the state of our secondary. But, it just, we'll see. I know people hate me when I say that, but I
think that's your slogan, man. That's like Stone Cold Steve Austin had Austin 316, and you just had we'll see. So, or he used to have that what. Well, people used to say what all the time for Stone Cold.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that from my middle school days. But we'll see what happens with the Lions, man. I tell you what, I expect the Lions might get out to a little bit of a slow start. They might be 3-3 or 3-4 to start the season or something, or maybe like 2-3 or whatever. I don't know, but they still have the thing that gets me is still they got a pretty easy schedule. I would expect they might get out to a slow start their first quarter of the season or something like that. They might fall a little flat, but they still have some deficiencies. Hopefully, they kept Kelvin Shepard around. He didn't take the Dolphins job or whatever.
Nope.
But we'll see what he can cobble together, from whatever practice squad guys he's got to use. We saw him have some limited success last year. I'm not feeling too down about it, but it is a concern. So,
something I have a question about is that whole Chris Greer situation that they bring him in and add him to the executive table. At this point in the season, what is this guy's expectation? Like, what did Brad say? Okay, this year, this is what I want you to do. Obviously, they brought him in post-draft, so they didn't have him in from a scouting perspective. What is his goal? Is his goal to just evaluate current talent? Is his goal to hang out on the free agency market and try to bring in a pass rusher like a Bosa or a Cam Jordan? I just don't understand what that was about.
I'm not sure either. I know he's a long-term GM for the Dolphins. Check the Twitter reactions. A lot of people were just like, yeah, good luck with this guy, Detroit. Ha, ha, ha. A lot of people laughing about Brad Holmes or whoever made that decision. But I'm not sure what to expect from Chris Greer. I'm not sure if he's going to be like somebody who's overseeing the staff development or overseeing player development and whatnot. I don't know what kind of authority he really has. It's kind of a question mark going forward. What does this guy do exactly? That's one thing I'm kind of scratching my head about. If he's going to oversee the staff in some way, in what capacity exactly? What's happening with this guy? But I don't know. it does leave me with more questions than answers. I'm really not sure what's going on with this, with some of these front office decisions. Like, I don't know if they're just like, is this some kind of backup just in case Brad Holmes doesn't work out? I don't know what's going on with this, but I guess we'll see. I hate saying that, but there's some questions that there's some things happening in Lions land that make me kind of scratch my head a little bit, wonder what the hell's going on. But yeah, so we'll see what the Lions do. I mean, I don't know if he's going to like revamp their development process. Maybe they'll change some ways they like do some training or practice or something. Maybe they're looking for a way to kind of minimize injuries. Maybe they're looking for a way to kind of solidify special teams. I'm not sure, but going forward,
he's got a scouting background, which is like confusing, right? So
yeah,
at this point, what are you scouting for, or what are you bringing him for him? Like, what perspective are you asking him to give you? Where you're starting OTAs, and that's like you said. I hate to repeat you, but we'll see, because at this point in time, what are we going to do? What does it look like after Greer comes in?
I don't know.
Maybe it's seamless. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe all the guy does is hang out and eat pancakes and watch a rerun of Bobby's World. That might be what he does all day. Who knows? If he does that, I want his job.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll watch some Bobby's World. Send me some 90s TV. Send me some SpongeBob and Hey Arnold. I'll hang out at the practice facility and
sprinkle
fucking drink some high C and eat some Dunkaroos. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm always on duty, but we'll see where. Thank you. But I guess we'll just see how this all shakes out. What's going to happen, and maybe there's some part of some master plan. I don't know if Brad Holmes is orchestrating all of this or what's happening here, but yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess just kind of take a wait and see attitude. Where is Bobby? He'll be around shortly. He'll be here. Don't worry, Baxter. He'll be here at some point, making fun of me, making me feel small, making me feel like a little man. Because that's what Bobby's good at. He's good at hurting me. He's good at hurting Hermdo.
We don't want Hermdo to get hurt.
Yeah. No, I've been hurt so many times before. I don't even feel it anymore. I'm totally numb to it. But that's okay. We talked. Okay. I don't know what direction you wanted to go. If you wanted to bring up anything else, I figured maybe we could talk some more Larkin as far as the Red Wings are concerned, unless you want to cover more Lions topics.
Nope, you nailed it right there. Hit it on the head, Hermdo. The Tigers are making us all linger and hold on. There's a lot of weird hype around the Lions. We talked about that. It's the Larkin stuff, man. Listen, when that we had our stream, what was that, on Wednesday? And we had a lot of audience participation, and it was really interesting to see, everybody's take on their patience kind of wearing off and what that looks like and sounds like. And a couple people made comments about, I think it's time to move on from Larkin. And within 24 hours, less than 24 hours of those comments, I text you, listen, Larkin wants out. And, I, in a polite way, all hell broke loose when it came to Stevie Y. And, I took to the talk that ticks, and I said, listen, what kind of hockey team is this? And everybody just unanimously said it's time for Stevie to go. So what's your take on this? You're the Detroit Fan Forum we'll call Red Wings expert, hockey expert. What do you think? You tell me.
I'm glad you asked. I'm going to take my sunglasses off to show you I'm serious. People are framing this like it's an Yzerman versus Larkin kind of conversation. Like, oh, Stevie didn't put enough talent around him. Oh, Larkin gave up on the team. I say, fuck both of these assholes. And you know how hard it pains me to say this about Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman is my childhood hero. God damn it. But this motherfucker needs to be the fuck away from general manager decisions. And Larkin, see you later, buddy. Thanks for being behind 3 epic late season collapses. Larkin can't get it done. He's not the guy for you. I don't know what you're going to get from him. That's another question indeed. We talked about maybe put together a package for Dallas, get Jason Robertson. Jason Robertson doesn't want to come here. What about Nico Hischier from the Devils? And Larkin can play with his buddy Jack Hughes, his buddy from the Olympics. Nico Hischier doesn't make your team better. He's pretty much the same player as Larkin. Maybe he's slightly better. Maybe he's a little more upside. He's like 2 years younger, but that's about it. We talk about maybe Elias Pettersson, from Vancouver. Maybe he could come in and be your number one center, but I don't know what you're packaging with him. Are you going to package Gibson? Are you going to package Kosa? What are you fucking doing? Right now, it's a big fucking mess. Yzerman is overseeing this mess because Yzerman has not put enough talent around Larkin. Okay, thanks for Mo Sider, Calder winner Mo Sider. Thanks for that surprise pick in 2019. That was 7 fucking years ago. Lucas Raymond falls into your lap. What do you fucking do? If you had the number 1 overall pick that pick, you probably would have gone with Tim Stutzla and pissed everybody off. Look what Tim Stutzla is doing in fucking Ottawa. But look at fucking Alexi Lafreniere. Give me a fucking break. The guys that also ran. The guy's a fucking bottom 6 nobody. But, Lucas Raymond, damn good player, but he's not getting you over the top. What's going to happen with Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane? Patrick Kane said he wants to re-sign here. Why? I don't know. I guess just for the millions and the memories. Alex DeBrincat,
no one else wants
he's in a walk year. What? Yeah, maybe no one else wants it. Maybe no one else wants 38-year-old Patrick Kane with his fucked up Golden Girls hip. I don't fucking know. But what are you going to do with Alex DeBrincat? Where the fuck is he going? I say fuck Larkin and fuck Yzerman. Both these assholes aren't taking us anywhere. It's a fucking mess. Why can't I hate both of them? Why do I got to pick and choose? Yeah, Larkin was never going to win here, and it's Yzerman's fault, but Larkin has to step up to the fucking plate, show his team the way, not disappear in fucking March. I can't defend you, Dylan, and I've defended this guy to the hilt. He's been a Red Wing for 10 years. He's only wanted to be a Red Wing. He's born and bred in Detroit. He played at Michigan for fuck's sake. He's always been playing Michigan hockey. You play for the fucking Detroit Red Wings, the motherfucking Detroit Red Wings, who you fucking expect to be a perennial fucking contender. 10 years without the fucking playoffs. Larkin can't get it fucking done. Yzerman's not the guy to do it. 7 fucking years, and we haven't even sniffed the playoffs. You got Buffalo making deep runs. You got Buffalo contending for the division with Tampa fucking Bay. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking the Buffalo Sabres, the also-ran Buffalo Sabres, who haven't been relevant since fucking what the fuck was his name? Thomas Vanek and Chris Drury and fucking Ryan Miller back in the mid-2000s with Lindy fucking Ruff, who coached 30 years too fucking long. Are you fucking kidding me? The Buffalo fucking Sabres have overtaken you now, and the fucking Montreal Canadiens, look, they won the little miracle run in 2021. They totally fell apart. What the fuck are we doing? The Ottawa Senators, Brady Tkachuk is rubbing his balls all over your face. He's fucking Dylan Larkin's girlfriend. He's Dylan Larkin's cuck. And Brady Tkachuk is fucking slapping you around. The Senators own you. It doesn't fucking matter. It's fucking pathetic. Every other team in your division is passing you up. It's fucking sad. Steve Yzerman has not done a goddamn thing to improve this fucking team. Get his ass out of here. Stevie, it's not working. Go the fuck away. Go the fuck away. You're done. You're cooked. You're over. I'm done with the Steve Yzerman, the Yzer plan. And look, I was an Yzerman slap up until a couple of years ago. I would apologize for the fucking guy and say, well, they're making slight improvements every single year. Yeah, but the roster was so bad in 2020. Look what we got now. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. Your free agent moves don't pan out. Your draft, okay, thanks for all the bottom 6 nobodies you've been drafting outside of Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider. You got nothing here. Sebastian Coach, you should have gotten Jesper fucking Wallstedt. Jesper fucking Wallstedt looks like fucking Dominic Hasek out there. Where in the fuck is Clucks, like Korean bedmates? Thank you, Herb Welch. Anyways, Jesper Wallstedt, where the fuck is Sebastian Kosa? Where the fuck is this kid? Show me. Where the fuck is Amadeus Lombardi? Where the fuck is Carter Mazur? You got a bunch of guys. Look how good the Griffins are doing. Whoop-de-fucking do. You got John Leonard and a bunch of 34-year-olds who will never sniff the NHL. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You win the Calder Cup a couple times in the last decade or whatever. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Our farm system is nothing. We got nothing. Who the fuck are you going to package? Who the fuck are you going to get for this fucking team? What are we going to do? I'm fucking drooling here. What are we going to fucking do with Dylan Larkin? His ass doesn't want to be here. He's fucking said, fuck it. I'm fucking done with the losing. 10 years. He has 1 point in the playoffs in 10 years. It was a 5-game, might as well call it a 5-game sweep in 2016 when Tampa Bay fucking handed you your ass. One of Jeff Blashiall's, like, oh, God, Jeff Blashiall. Now you're probably going to go on your 4th fucking coach. You had Jeff Blashiall. You gave him nothing. You booted his ass out. Derek Lalonde, the team quit on him. You boot his ass out. Todd McClellan, what the fuck's he going to do? If I'm Todd fucking McClellan, I'm walking the fuck away from this team. You say, you give Gerard Gallant a call. Stevie is one of his butt buddies from back in the day. Give Gerard Gallant a call. Give fucking Bruce Cassidy. See if Bruce Cassidy, who took the freaking Golden Knights to the finals and won in 2023, he got his ass booted out. He took the Bruins to the finals in 2019, lost to St. Louis Blues. See if Bruce Cassidy, maybe he can get some of your young guys to do something. Maybe he can get Marco Casper not to have a 40-game streak where he doesn't score a single fucking point. Maybe he can get something on Nate Danielson, wherever the fuck Nate Danielson is. Maybe he can get something on Axel Sandy Pellica, who looks like he's not even fucking ready for the fucking NHL. What the fuck, Stevie? This is fucking pathetic. God damn it.
That was probably
he's jerking off.
Hermdo, that was the equivalent of the good old Mike Villani Michigan State rant. Like that is probably going to go down in record books as the most epic lower tier podcast rant done by 2 guys named Mark and Tom ever. I felt your passion. Bobby felt your passion. I hope you can take a deep breath because that was like 90s dads screaming at their kids, right? That was I'm not even mad, I'm just disappointed. It's just Lord. And none of it's wrong. None of it's wrong, Hermdo. None of it's wrong.
No.
And there's nobody out there that whimpered, right, when Larkin requested this trade. There's nobody out there, I think. No. I think this really just pushed everybody off the Yzerman bandwagon and eliminated all of his time.
Yes.
It gave everybody a nice opportunity to really take a look at this general manager and say, okay, do I want you here from a productivity standpoint, or am I in love with your last name? And that him coming here, they're now equating it to when Alan Trammell was the general manager coach of the early 2000 Tigers that were historically
awful.
Poor
Tram.
Right, and Trammell is one of my favorite baseball players ever. I wanted to name my sister Alan Trammell. I'm a huge Alan Trammell fan. I've got his jersey. I have his autographs. I met the guy. He's probably my number 1 favorite Tiger. But it didn't work out when he was here from a leadership standpoint. And I think that's what we're seeing with the Steve Yzerman situation is, hey, you did a phenomenal job, but really when it comes down to it, we need to move the fuck on, man. And not to say former players don't work, because look what Rob Brendamore's doing, Carolina. Look what Martin St. Louis did in Montreal.
Bill Guerin in Minnesota.
There you go. There's another great example. So, maybe it's a former player from another team that comes in here, and it doesn't have to be your sweetheart. Because at this point in time, it's just not working, baby. It's just not working.
No, it's not. Get whoever you got to get in here. I don't know. You got to get Ron Hextall. You got to get fucking Patrick Waugh. Some rival goalie of ours. Get them in here and have them tear this fucking thing down. I don't fucking know anymore. And Ron Hextall didn't work out in Pittsburgh, but god damn it, you're going to need a fresh voice. I should have done some more prep. I should have got some names for the fucking possible. We'll do that in a future episode, or maybe I'll make an episode of Hermdo's Hockey Minute, and we can talk about some possible names to replace Steve Yzerman. That's where I want to go with this. That's what I want to talk about. So I'll tell you what, if you're in the chat, Bobby or whoever the fuck's in there, Herb Welch, hit your smoking hand. If you got any names for GM, hey, let me know them. Let me know. We'll go for this. We're only halfway done with the show. We're only half hour in. Let me know, because this fucking thing with Yzerman, and look, you're not going to fire Steve Yzerman. Look. This guy's a fucking legend. This guy made Detroit hockey town. This guy is the mayor of fucking Hockey Town. And it sickens and disgusts me to see the current iteration of the Red Wings still call themselves Hockey Town. But I tell you what, you say, Stevie, you can't do this no more. You give him some cutesy bullshit executive title. You kick him upstairs. He can be like the team mascot. We'll have Steve Yzerman bobblehead night. He can be like executive director of Tony Dogs at the Kid Rock restaurant, whatever the fuck. Executive director of All Summer Long at the Kid Rock Hockey Hut, whatever the fuck. And get somebody else in here who knows what the fuck they're doing. Because Yzerman is not getting the. When I see Larkin wanted, I was like, yeah, I'm sure the C doesn't even matter right now. Yeah, give Mo the C. Mo Sider is your new Hockey Town captain. Mo Sider, your new Hockey Town captain. First defenseman, first European defenseman since Nick Lidstrom to wear it. It's a hot garbage semi-surprise.
So has there ever been a team?
Garbage.
Has there ever been a team where their current captain has asked for a trade? Like, does that anything ring a bell to you?
I can't think of one off the top of my head, Mark. I'm going to be 100% honest because Dylan Larkin was Red Wings hockey. Dylan Larkin wanted to be here. He signed long-term here, had a no-trade clause, which Dylan is probably going to use, be like, haha, fuck you. You got to send me somewhere I want to go. People are saying Minnesota. Minnesota has nothing to give us. Minnesota has nothing to give us. They blew their load on Quinn Hughes. It's just like, where the fuck are we going to put Dylan Larkin? What are we going to get back for him? I don't fucking know. The market, look, you still need a center like Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin is still a damn good center. He's just on a number one center on a Stanley Cup team, which I have said till I am blue in the face. A team like Carolina, a team like the Golden Knights, a team like Colorado does not have a Dylan Larkin as their top line center. They do not. They do not. But imagine putting him behind somebody like Nate Robertson or Nico Hischier or whatever the teams I fucking mentioned talking about. But yeah, any of the teams, imagine putting them behind Austin Matthews or something. But yeah, you'd solidify. You'd have a hell of a hockey team with Dylan Larkin if you had him as your number two center behind your guy who gets you fucking 100 points a season. But yeah, who are we trading for? What are we getting for the fucking guy? I don't fucking know. Because Steve Yzerman, now look, one thing I'll say, as pissed off as I am about Dylan Larkin, he got Stevie's ass into action. Now Steve Yzerman has to make a fucking move. Mm-hmm. He absolutely has to. You can't jerk off for 6 months out of the year, Stevie. You got to bring us something. Alex DeBrincat. He brought us Alex DeBrincat. DeBrincat wanted to be here. DeBrincat was miserable in Ottawa. It was a fucking mess. It's not like they're the fucking LA Kings. LA Kings, hey, they still got a couple cups, in the last decade. Does say that about the fucking LA Kings. Fucking A, man. But yeah, you're gonna have to get just Stevie has to get in action. You got to put together some trade packages. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say Stevie has a history of dealing with disgruntled players, right? So there's been a few, and Dylan Larkin is like the main captain who's actually asked to be out. I think we're right about that. But so the first two that come to mind were his time in Tampa Bay, where we talked about Martin St. Louis, and Jonathan Drouin, third overall pick, right? So he dealt with them pretty well, and had to move on from them and retool, right? So I don't know if that is as big as Larkin basically going to the media and saying, I want out, right? Maybe that was more behind the scenes situation that you knew, new GM coming in, face of the franchise, time to move out. So he's got history of it. Philip Zadina, that one we talked about a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say that kind of left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So, there is a short history of what he did in Tampa Bay with this, but I think to be fair, we're done comparing him to his time in Tampa Bay. I think that's over.
Yes. You got to keep in mind, like, look, he found Nikita Kucherov, he found Braden Point, but he also had Steven Stamkos off the rip. He also had Victor Hedman off the rip. He had his two star players to build around. He added some pieces here and there. He got them to the finals in 2015. People forget, about 4 years after he got appointed to be GM, he got them to the finals against Chicago Blackhawks, who wound up beating him, unfortunately. But, yeah, I mean, Stevie Y, look, I think he can, but he had a lot less to work with in Detroit, but still. And he's taken us from a perennial dog shit. Read Red Berenson. Oh, Red Berenson. Jesus Christ. The old Michigan coach. More 40s home mentality. You're gonna get fucking Sid Abel out there too. But yeah, it's a big fucking mess. And Stevie is I put the blame on him. And this whole thing, you know what, as disgusted and disappointed, like, look, I know I just framed like fuck both of these guys, but look, you put a gun to my head. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to be Team Larkin because the guy just had nothing to work with. But it's just one of those things. I'm so sickened and disappointed. This is our fucking hockey team. This is talk to me after the 2008 finals, watching them win at my buddy Sean's apartment and fucking going insane and driving down Gratiot, seeing how fucking insane people were. Tell me 18 years from them, we'd be 10 years without the playoffs, every other team eclipsing us. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Imagine telling a Red Wings fan in 2019 that the Buffalo Sabres would make it to the fucking playoffs before the Detroit Red Wings did. The fucking Detroit Lions would win back-to-back fucking division titles before the Red Wings got to the fucking playoffs. It's absolutely sickening. It's disgusting. I've had enough of it. It's pissing me off. But yeah, changes have to be made. Hopefully Yzerman, look, I know they're not going to get rid of him. This is his mess, and I know the upper management's going to let him clean it up. I just hope Yzerman, man, just don't fuck us over anymore. I know it's fucking hard. I don't know what he's going to – I don't know what the next move is going to be. It's kind of crazy. Like your captain asking out, the guy who always wanted to be here asking out because you've just done nothing to fucking help the guy. And Larkin's 29. He still has a lot of hockey left. But look, he's a decade in the league. A lot of guys don't make it. Most guys, they get into their 30s, things start falling apart. Larkin's probably not going to be one of those guys who's going to play for like 20 years. He's feeling father time, and he's still a plus player, and he wants to, go somewhere where he can possibly win a cup. The Wings, I don't even know why I'm wearing this hat. It's fucking embarrassing I'm wearing this fucking hat because I'm fucking embarrassed to be a Red Wings fan, thanks to Steve Yzerman. I didn't think we'd get this bag or that be direct. Yeah, I didn't think so either. If you told me that this was going to be the state of the Red Wings when Yzerman got brought back, when Yzerman waltzed back to Detroit and, booted Ken Holland out of here, I wouldn't. As a Red Wings fan, I'm disgusted. I'm depressed. I'm fucking besides myself, man. I lived and died with this hockey team, and this hockey team has given me so much. They made my childhood so happy. We talked about, how, out is more of the writing on the wall. Yeah. But we talked about last week, we talked about what this team means to me, the 2002 championship team, winning the cup after my mother passed away, and how much she loved this team and how much her love for the Red Wings was imprinted on me. Mark, you might see a grown man cry tonight. I'm going to get fucking emotional about this, Mark. This team means so fucking much to me. This team has given me so fucking much, and now they're just fucking stuck in neutral, and they can't do shit, and my fucking favorite Red Wing of all time is behind it. I'm fucking brokenhearted, Mark. Mark, if I was a lesser man, I'd be sobbing like a bitch.
I was going to say the only worst thing that I think that could happen is if they did move on from the Red Wings and Steve Yzerman somehow became hired into the Colorado Avalanche front office and helped them go to 4 back-to-back Stanley Cups, and then you'd wonder if we're cursed. So, no, I understand, and I understand how much in this town, our whole childhood, like we talked about last episode, you just couldn't avoid it no matter what you wanted to do, whether you were getting a pizza at Little Caesars, you were getting the Hey Hey Hockey Town CD that came with it, you were getting towels. Everybody had the Red Wings flags on their car that they put in between their window. It was unavoidable. There were blown up octopus with Red Wings jerseys on people's lawns. I can specifically remember driving down people's streets, and they're broadcasting the games for everybody to see. And that's before you had all these Bluetooth projectors, and people had a serious setup. So this town was probably responsible for 40% of the leather Detroit Red Wings jackets that existed out there, in my opinion. So it's a long fall far from the championship domination. They used to call us, and Hobby for Bobby can jump in. The Yankees of hockey, right? Have the Yankees ever gone on such a losing streak, right? A team in baseball that is kind of like overall, and I know as Tigers fans we hate saying this, but the Yankees are kind of like they are the definition of baseball, right? If somebody were to think not a baseball fan, the first team they think of the New York Yankees, Babe Ruth, all the home, the legends, right? That's kind of how the Red Wings were thought of in the 90s and then the early 2000s. When you thought hockey, you thought of Detroit, and that's gone, right? And kind of makes you wonder. It'll probably never come back. Yeah, I don't think you'll ever see anything just like that. And it's unfortunate because, I guess in order to be the Yankees, we would have to kept winning, and that's just not something we do. And same thing. Steinbrenner passes away, passes it down to his kid. His kid continues to be Steinbrenner. His kid continues to put together teams that have the star power, that aren't shy about, going for the whole thing. And you look at the Red Wings, and that just disappeared. It's like the opposite. It's like, nope, we're going to build this thing without bringing in stars, without, we're going to pretend we're the smartest guys in the room, right? This is our fart huffing time. And in reality, what Ken Holland used to do is go out for the big names. I mean, yes, they did draft a core group of people, but the Luke Robitaille's, the Brett Halls, the Brendan Shanahan's, the Chris Chelioses, like those were draft picks, guys. Those weren't draft picks. And yeah, the Yankees still go out and make good draft picks, but they trade for the Paul Goldschmidts and the well, I don't have to get in the baseball side of things, but you know what I'm saying. It's perplexing.
Yes.
It makes me think that Yankees title not so well deserved anymore. We're like the Mets.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is with the Yankees, they still put out a good team. They still got guys like Aaron Judge. They still have, a hell of a legacy, 27 World Series for fuck's sake. But they still have only won one World Series this millennium. So
it's true.
There's that. But there's still, with the Red Wings, it's one of those teams. It's kind of like you put them on the par with like the Patriots with the Tom Brady era, or like even like the Red Sox, or like the San Antonio Spurs or the Lakers or whatever. You put them up there because the Red Wings belonged up there. But it's been so long. And what I was going to say earlier when at the start of your rant, was just like, people Red Wings fans still invade, the away teams' arenas. Red Wings fans are still throwing octopi on the fucking ice at the games. There's so many remnants of the Red Wings dynasty still alive because the fans won't let it die. God bless them. And the fans deserve so much more than this. And it's just seeing like what we had as a hockey team and seeing it all turn to shit. Man, it's disgusting. I'm so disgusted with the Red Wings right now, man. And it pains me so fucking much. And I'm just, I feel like if you were to tell, I remember I was at, my uncle's house in 1998 watching them sweep the Capitals. And you tell 12-year-old Hermdo that this is probably the happiest he'll ever be as a Red Wings fan. Or, I remember watching, in 2002 after my mom passed away, 2008 at my buddy Sean's house, and how crazy that shit was. And I could go on and on. This could be a 3-hour long podcast talking about my fucking feelings about the Red Wings and all the happy memories they've given me and all the absolute incredible players that have been on this team and just how much fun it was to be a Red Wings fan for so fucking long. But it's
talk about spending
it's
money.
Been over.
And the Yankees continue to spend money, right? They have the third highest payroll in baseball.
Yes.
Always their top 5 payroll. But when you look at the current payroll structure in the NHL, Red Wings are like bottom 10 in payroll. So they're not making the investment and to bring in a championship caliber team. And you look at teams that are exceeding in payroll up there in the top 5, and it's the Avalanche, it's the Golden Knights, it's the Dallas Stars, it's the Islanders, it's the Canadians, it's the Sabres, it's the fucking Carolina Hurricanes. It's the teams that are in it, Hermdo. It's the teams that are competitive. It's the teams that are fighting. The teams that are going for gold, as we all say, right? So, like you said, if you want to play, you have to pay, and they don't seem, from a financial standpoint, to be committed to it. And that's what we're used to. We're used to them just saying, "Listen, money is no object. We are bringing in everybody we want." And it's those days are gone. You're right. It's never coming back.
Yes. Yeah. Hermdo's taking me down memory lane. Oh, sorry, Bobby. I don't mean to break your heart, buddy. But you got to pay to win. That's the number one truth of every sport, even college sports. If you want to win, you got to pay. Yep. That's the fucking ironclad rule of sports, professional sports, college sports, any kind of sport on the fucking television. You got to pay to win. And right now, talking about paying, Wings got $29 million in cap space. I don't want Steve Yzerman anywhere near that. I don't want Steve Yzerman to make any decisions, give any big contracts. I have no trust in Steve Yzerman. This scares me, man. Honestly, I could talk about how scared I am. Now Larkin wants out. You're going to have to work some deal out to hopefully replace him or do something. But I don't know. Now you got all this cap space. They're going to have even more next year. Red Wings are going to be lousy with fucking cap space, especially if DeBrincat goes bye-bye. It's one of those things. All these guys, what about, JT Compher and Andrew Kopp? I mean, why the fuck are those guys still on the team? But anyways, it's just one of those things. The more cap space, the more resources Yzerman has, the less I trust him. I don't trust him to do anything good with this cap space. I don't trust him to make the right moves. I'm scared, Mark. I'm scared for what this team's going to look like. We're going to have to rebuild the rebuild, man. And I just know the front office. I think Chris Ilitch is out to lunch. I think he's just fuck it. Let Stevie got into this mess. Let Stevie get it out. The thing is, we're going to need new ownership at some point, man.
Oh, boy.
And you know what's going to be sad, Mark? You know what's going to be sad? We're going to see, I guarantee you, we're going to see Red Wings fans wearing bags over their heads saying sell the team, like it was for the Lions back during the Millen era, like it was, for all these other flea bag teams we got. We're going to see the fucking Red Wings, the fucking 11 Stanley Cup championship winning, fucking 100-year-old, fucking legendary franchise, the most successful American hockey franchise ever. We're going to see this Red Wings team. We're going to see the fans start pulling out the stops and start demanding a change in team ownership, because that's how far things have fallen. Chris Ilitch is asleep at the switch. I don't trust Steve Yzerman to make any of these fucking moves. I'm fucking scared, Mark. I think we're in for a long, dark time. It's going to be like the darkness of Harkness. It's going to be it's the Dead Wings. The Wings have been the Dead Wings for a decade now. It's just going to be more Dead Wings. They're going to be called the Dead Things. It's just
the Dead Things. I
don't see a light at the end of this tunnel, Mark. Yeah, I hate to say it.
They're on their way to be the worst team.
It hurts me.
They are on their way to be the worst team in Detroit right now, and it looks like, I don't know if they'll ever basement out to Lions fans putting bags over their heads. I mean, you got to figure out how long it took for Lions fans to actually give up. I mean, I think they sold out the 0-16 season, right? So don't act like there weren't psycho fans supporting them all the way down the line. There were, and they're seriously Hitch and I were probably one of them, but no, it's there. It's pretty much to the point where, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I do want to talk about real quick this NBA situation with the Spurs and the Knicks. I did not see the Knicks doing this, Hermdo. I don't know about you.
Yeah, they're spanking Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama is like the whipping boy right now. I can't believe what the Knicks are doing. And just knowing the Pistons swept them in the regular season, that's why, the Pistons exit at the hands of the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers that got swept by the freaking New York Knicks. Man, oh, man. But, imagine how satisfying it would be, because New York Knicks fans are zoo animals, maybe even bigger zoo animals than Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Yeah,
imagine how gratifying it would be to take New York Knicks fans and rub it in their fucking face as a Pistons fan. As we did. You got Fat Joe. You got all these washed up, also ran celebrities. You got Spike Lee. Spike Lee, who dresses like a fucking 8-year-old, his little tracksuit in his backpack. What are you doing? You go to your first day of fourth grade, Spike? You fucking 60-year-old piece of shit. But whatever. I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of this New York jerking off bullshit. And you know what? If the Spurs have never trailed in the finals before, it's kind of crazy. But if and Victor Wembanyama, we all know the kid's going to grow. He's going to mature. He's going to get mass on him. He's going to own the league in a couple years. He's going to be. I mean, he's already in the finals. He's already gotten a taste of it.
Yep.
He's going to be the dominant force. Spurs are going to win 5 more championships. Spurs will win 10 fucking championships in our lifetimes, Mark, in like a decade. It's insane. But you know what? Right now, he's getting exposed. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns. Where the fuck is this Karl Anthony Towns been all fucking year? It's absolutely insane what the Knicks are doing right now. And you know what pisses me off the most? I know that it's just going to empower Knicks fans to be more obnoxious, more stupid, more annoying, and more narcissistic, more egomaniacal, more toxic. I know that. And this whole thing about, New York. Oh.
Well, they've solidified themselves as the top of the East right now. And what Karl Anthony Towns is doing in the playoffs is the opposite of what Jalen Duren does. So, it's really hard. As much as I hate the Knicks, it's really hard to shit talk their game because they're playing excellent basketball and they've learned how to play great, if not top-notch playoff basketball, which is obviously the Pistons' biggest downfall. Amazing, regular season team.
Yes.
But, what did that get us? It got us some instability in the playoffs. It got us a center who is an MVP, all-star, whatever you want to call him, 23-point average a game, and he flails out to like 7 points a game, plays like a Mitchell Robinson.
Ugh.
And then you've got Karl Anthony Towns putting up Jalen Duren, regular season numbers in the playoffs and wondering why they're winning so dominantly because they've got a big who can score and who's dominant and an answer to Wemby. And then you've got an all-purpose floor general in Jalen Brunson. Something else, too, that we're going to have to address, and I don't know if it's Tyler Hero or what, but, the 3-point shooting. They've got OG Anunoby. They've got Josh Hart. They've got the Mikal Bridges. They've got guys who can launch threes or can shoot jumpers in timely situations and get hot. Something we really lacked. I think it's like, we were just too thin. And if there wasn't an answer and Duncan Robinson wasn't super hot, there was nobody else that could just stand up instantly and plug in. We maybe got lucky a few times here or there with some help, but they're a well-constructed team. They're definitely postseason battle tested and ready. And it makes you think like, okay, is this their year of winning it? Like you said, then it's the Spurs for the next 5. Time shall tell us. The game is tomorrow. I don't. It's in San Antonio, but at this point, or I'm sorry, it's at the Madison Square Garden. But at this point, it doesn't seem like home court really means anything anymore. It just seems like these two teams are phenomenal, and we're going to get some great basketball down to the wire.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a series so far. And, it's just like Pistons slapped around the Knicks in the regular season. What do they do against the Spurs? But it looks like the Spurs got figured out by the New York Knicks. I'll say that much. Jalen Brunson looks damn good. It's kind of crazy seeing the depth, seeing the pieces that the Pistons are missing. I don't know if like New York Knicks are like the blueprint or something like that, but you want to build, I'll say that, they're a competitive goddamn team. You see what the Pistons lack when you compare them to the Knicks in the playoffs. I'll say that much. They won 14 straight games in the playoffs. It's absolutely insane what the Knicks are doing right now. So,
it's out of control.
I hate New York. I hate the New York teams. Yeah. I hate New York. I hate the New York teams. I hate the New York fans. But, hey, you got yourself a winning team. You're going to walk out of here with the ring. I don't know. Maybe the Spurs come back. The series isn't over yet. But New York looks like they made a pretty big statement right now. So, yeah, enjoy it, Knicks fans. Enjoy it. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm emotionally frazzled right now. I'm in a million different places at once. I don't know.
Well, we're kind of in an in-between status right now, Hermdo, where, when it comes to baseball, there's so much to be played, right? When it comes to hockey, it's all still lingering around. And same thing with basketball. We're just waiting for these seasons to end so we can just kind of get some level set, right? Because right now it's all theory, right? And then you're going to spend, once the season's over, once the NBA season's over, all you're going to hear about is where's LeBron going to, right? And then you're going to see, and I continue to see, every Pistons or every player being mock traded to the Pistons. Whether it's Austin Reeves, right? Like, so we're going to have to get a little bit more realistic out there. But right now, everybody's having their fever dream scenario. Everyone's saying, well, this is exactly who we need to trade. We need to trade for these two shooters and this big. But, it's all going to come down up and see what Trajan Langdon's up to.
Yeah. DDW Network. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, you need to get your buddy to do in here.
Balls in Trajan.
I got a bone to pick with him.
We're going to see the balls in Trajan Langdon's court right now. We talked about him fart huffing. We talked about him buying his own bullshit. We talked about the smartest man in the room kind of shit. Well, now it's your off season, buddy. Hopefully you see what the Pistons need and you can make some changes. I know you're still, I mean, we still got the tread's still fresh on Trajan Langdon's tires, but man, Cade's in his prime. You got to start adding pieces. That's a question coming forward, with Jalen Duren. What are you going to do with the guy? You're going to give him over $40 million a year. You're going to max him out. Then what are you going to do? Who are you going to put around Cade? That's the big question. So Trajan Langdon has some big questions to ask. Are you going to, let Jalen Duren test free agency right now? Stop Jewish hate.
Jesus.
Whitey Whitney. I didn't mention Jews, but okay. Is Trajan Langdon Jewish? I don't know. It would explain a lot, but I'm just kidding. I'm not anti-Semitic. Don't call me Jonathan Greenblatt, but we'll see what Trajan Langdon's got cooking this year. This is gonna be the year. Look, you had a damn good regular season. You went on a little bit of a run in the playoffs, but get sworn in. He's tired. Poor Dew. I could just shit talk Brad Holmes for the next hour or so. I'll fill the Dew spot. Fuck Brad Holmes. He sucks. He's a piece of shit. Fuck him. Okay, we talked about it over and over again. We know what the score is, but we'll see what Trajan Langdon can do. He's got his work cut out for him. How do you build a contender in the East? Because you see what the New York Knicks are doing in the postseason, and makes you a little bit nervous. Regular season just does not matter, and as fun as the Pistons were to watch, but you see the deficiencies. As stout as our defense was, you saw what guys like Asar Thompson and Isaiah Stewart were doing. But, they still need three-point shooting. Outside of Duncan Robinson, they really got nobody. And we like, the Dennis Jenkins storyline, like all the six-man storylines. Like, who was this guy? He's just a reclamation project from the G League. But, guys like that, you're going to need something solid. You're going to need some solid people to put around Cade. You're going to need, like, a solid number 2 for the guy. Or maybe a number 1. And Cade will be the number 2. I don't fucking know. But we'll see. Trajan Langdon's got his work cut out for him, but
getting out of the second round is going to be
the
tough.
Pistons.
It really is. It's not going to be as easy as we thought it was, just from the way we can see the way New York has deployed their roster. And, they look as dangerous as kind of like that Boston Celtics team with Al Horford and Jaylen Brown and Derek White when he had a little bit of hair. But it's not going to be a cakewalk. It isn't. It has nothing to do with Tyrese Halliburton's fat ass coming back. It has everything to do with the Knicks have put together a roster that can compete with the West. And you're right. Regular season overall doesn't matter. It's just about getting in. So, going 500 with some of these teams out in the West, these juggernauts, and surviving some games is great. Obviously teams like the Thunder are going to get all the darling calls and all the flopping calls in the regular season, a little bit more scrutinized in the playoffs, to where you're not going to be getting all the way through. But that's true for any star, right? They give it to Harden, but that's not going to get Harden all the way through and out of the second round. Brunson, as much as you want to call him floppy, dude, that guy's good. He's just good. He can get some floppiness, and I think I don't know, maybe watching SGA and what's his face, Harden, the way they flop versus the way Brunson flopped, it kind of got me going, okay, I'll put these guys in a category of disgusting on their own and say Jalen Brunson. Sometimes you get a little egregious with it, but you're respectful. These guys are just ass clowns about it, and it kind of makes me wonder. It's the whole SGA thing. Like, did they crown him way too early? Because you know you look at a guy like Steph Curry and you can hate on his 3-point game, but he's undeniable. He did not need fouling and he did not have to go to the free throw line for that dynasty. The guy's a shooter, dude. He's like a once in a generational 3-point shooter. He was talented. He did all his on talent. Obviously MJ, Kobe, those guys, LeBron, it's talent. SGA is a talented player, but it just makes you think if that MVP accolade back to back was a little excessive, little overinflated, on meaningless regular season points from going to the foul line 42 times.
That's a good way of putting it.
Thought.
You know what? I'm going to say I'm like really an expert on SGA's game. I'll have to defer to you on that one, Mark. But yeah, seeing a guy like SGA pull it, 2 years in a row. Cade was in contention for a while. I know he got hurt late in the season. He had that long issue and whatnot. But I think Cade will be in the conversation in the next couple of years. I'm a big homer for Cade, obviously, but SGA, he's like the flavor of the month. I don't know if he's going to have the staying power of somebody like Steph Curry. I don't know if we're still going to be talking about SGA because we're going to be talking about Steph Curry for years and years and years. SGA, are we still talking about him in the same way in the next 5 years? I doubt it.
Or maybe we're talking about him more like a James Harden. Maybe that's the way we're going to look at SGA. Because Harden, when he was young, was MVP candidate, big time scorer, and now I think you look at SGA like you look at Harden and say, yeah, maybe you're just going to be that obnoxious guy, and maybe he grows in a big beard, and I don't know how SGA would look with a beard. Not really.
Maybe he bounces around from team to team, and maybe he just got all these accolades. I mean, the guy is ringless. He's like 40 years old, but SGA does have a ring. Maybe he's just going to be Harden with a ring or something. You never know. Maybe it's one of those guys. When he's done with Oklahoma, maybe he bounces around. Maybe he goes to the Rockets. Maybe he follows a similar trajectory to somebody like Harden, and just kind of like one of those guys. Just kind of like, yeah, you were hot shit 15 years ago. What have you done for me lately? I don't know. But we will chart his career trajectory. I guess we'll see. But comparing him to like some of the greats, I don't know. There's so many. When you compare, you brought up like MJ and Kobe and those guys. Just like that's the thing. We brought up that topic before. Who can really take up that mantle right now? We point out a guy like Steph Curry, like generational, arguably the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. And people are like, he never won enough Finals MVPs or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know, man. You can't deny the guy. You can't deny the guy.
No,
and I might not know the ins and the outs of the game as much as some people know, but still, I recognize the guy as one of the greats. I don't know if I put him quite on that tier, but he's in the conversation at least. He's one of those guys. Hell, he's got
for a certain
rings.
generation. Hell, he's their GOAT, right? So for my son's generation, Jason, his buddies, and probably 3 years ago, I would say, if you asked any of his friends who their favorite basketball player were, and this was before they got really into it. Now they're little savants, so they know everybody. But it was Steph Curry. It was Steph Curry. Everybody wanted a Steph Curry jersey. His buddy one year for birthday, mom bought him all Steph Curry jerseys. Like it was like the 90s go-to was Michael Jordan. I like Michael Jordan. You don't even have to know about basketball to go, Michael Jordan is my favorite basketball player. And then obviously LeBron and Kobe were no-brainers. And then it was Steph. Steph is that household name for that generation that, they'll have kids and their kids will say, this guy's the best 3-point shooter. And they'll go, dude, you don't know shit. Steph was an OG. Steph. And then they'll do the same bullshit people do to Jordan about us. But after that, right, after Steph Curry leaves and retires, I don't see anybody in the current landscape that is going to just, attract a global audience. The knock on Wemby is he's just an alien, and it's a given. Like, we're all going to be we would all be shocked if he didn't win 5 rings based on how big he is. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the given. But who's out there right now that is going to clearly define a role in the NBA and say, I am this type of undeniable talent that no one can mess with, that kids are going to fall in love with and want my jersey? Could be Cade. It really could. I mean, he's got that smooth operator vibe to him, and he hopefully will continue to show that he's just, blocks the noise out and Mr. Consistent and can put 40 up in a big game. And, it's not just by going to the points, and he assists, he rebounds, he plays defense. Like, he has the tangibles, but just like Jordan, they had to put Pippen and, Kukoc and Rodman, and they have to get this supporting cast right with Cade right now before they really sour things. And I'm confident that Trajan Langdon, I'm not sure if he is Jewish or not, but I'm confident that he can put those pieces together. CJ McCollum was another name that came up, and he was a big monster shooter in the playoffs for the Hawks. So I expect Trajan Langdon to go after at least 2 big-time shooters and offer Duren below his max contract value. I think it's like $25 million a year they're looking to target him with. So don't supermax the guy, but re-sign him. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I totally agree. I mean, they got to get some shooters. They got to, hopefully lock Duren up to a good deal. I totally agree with your, Steph Curry take. Obviously, you got a son. He's Gen Alpha. He knows more about that kind of stuff. But, that'll be our MJ. That'll be, whatever. That'll be, he's their MJ is what I'm trying to say. But, yeah, absolutely. But, no, you hit the nail on the head, Mark. You hit the nail on the head. I think, our Pistons are at the precipice right now. We saw what Cade could do in the playoffs. We saw this kind of player this guy can be. I can't say enough good things. He's the best athlete in Detroit right now, bar none. And I'm really excited. Hopefully, we can get a good supporting cast around him, and we can start talking rings, baby. We can start, we can have the Bad Boys era, the Going to Work era, or we can have the Motorcade, baby. Imagine a new era of Detroit sports championships with the Pistons. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm looking forward to. Hermdo is my hero. Thank you, Baxter. But yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else. I mean, I don't know how much longer you wanted to go, Mark. But I mean,
I was going to say we're at that sweet spot. We're getting talked. I can see the network executives flagging me down, saying you've already gone past your normal time. We're cutting into the next show, La Femme Nikita, that's on after us. But no, seriously, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out here tonight and joining us. Hopefully this garnishes us a few new subscribers. Hopefully we got some new love in the chat right now. Appreciate everybody. Even though the sports news is quiet here in the summertime and the sun shines out, we're still here 2 days a week, bringing you all the latest and greatest opinions in this ever-changing Detroit market. Hermdo, what do you got?
That's it, baby. Fuck Steve Yzerman. Fuck Dylan Larkin.
Oh, you made that clear.
Get some help for Cade. Expect a rocky road for the Lions this year. I think they'll still be all right, but in any case, expect a rocky road for the Lions this year. Tigers, I'm sorry. You're going to give me more than 2 series. Mm-hmm. I know you beat the AL East leading Rays, but you still have a hell of a hill to climb up. And maybe we can start talking about AJ Hinch, is he the guy? But
yeah,
we'll leave that for a discussion later. As far as, any other team, we'll see. We'll see what, next season will bring. But yeah, right now we're kind of stuck watching the scumbag Tigers. But we can always speculate about other teams. But thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Detroit Fan Forum. All that stuff we stream on Wednesday. We stream on Sunday. I'll be putting out some more episodes for you guys. You guys more Hermdo Hockey Minute, more Talking Tigers. I might even talk about the Pistons and Lions a bit. If there's any news on the college front, anything Michigan State are doing, I'll fill you guys in as well as much as I can. But I'm a working man. You got to cut me some slack. I can't be on there every day. But God bless all you guys. Hobby for Bobby, Herb Welch, hit your smoking hand. Whoever the fuck you guys are, I don't know. You guys could be Guatemalans for all I know, posting from a shipping container somewhere. But that's okay. I still love you anyway. Thank you all so much for watching.